multiplying fractions. We are going to start with a picture to show what multiplying fractions actually looks like. So if you'll take your paper that you got from class that looks like this, our little Hershey bars, we're going to start with our first picture, and they give us a half of 2/3. So for example, if you had a Hershey bar and you had 2/3 of it and you wanted to split it in half, what would the outcome be? How much would you have per half of the 2/3? So using our picture, what we're going to look at is where can we take our candy bar and split it in half? Well, if I look from left to right, that's thirds. So I'm looking top to bottom, looking, there's my little eyes, looking top to bottom. Well, I can split this in half. I could make it fourths too, but I also know that this is a half. So if we're going to try to take a half, let's color that half in. Okay, the 2/3, if you look from right to left, I'm looking this direction, I see it's broken up into thirds, and I'm going to shade in 2/3. The part that is double shaded gives us our answer. So if you count how many boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 are double shaded out of a total of 3, 6, 9, 12. So 4/12. But we want to reduce if possible. Well, I know 4/12 is the same as 1/3. So if I had 2/3, I took a half of it, my answer would be 1/3. Okay, let's try the next one. We have 1/3 of 1/4. Okay, so look top to bottom, I can tell my candy bar's in fourths. Look side to side, I can tell that's in thirds. So that's where I'm going to start. Looking from left, there's my little eyes, left to right, I can see that these are broken up into thirds. So I've got that one piece, I've got two pieces, and this 3. So 1/3 is I'm going to shade. This would be 1/3. Just looking left to right. Then they want me to take 1/3 of a fourth. Okay, so now I'm going to look top to bottom. So I'm going to look from top to bottom. Little eyelashes, top to bottom. And I notice it's broken up into fourths. Here are my fourths. I'm ignoring the side to side right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces going that way. And it says 1/4. So I'm going to color in 1/4, just focusing on top to bottom. The picture shows wherever this double shading is, I have 1 out of how many total? 3, 6, 9, 12. So 1/3 of 1/4 would be 1/12. Okay, you try the next one on your own. You can pause the video and then come back and check with me. Okay, so you should try this one on your own. This one says we're going to take 1/3 of 3/4. 1/3 of 3/4. Okay, so first we'll start and look at our third. Look top to bottom. I notice my candy bar's in fourths, so I'm going to look side to side. I notice it's in thirds. So I'm going to look from side to side. And I'm going to, here's my thirds. Here's 1, 2, and the bottom one is 3. And they said 1/3, so I'm just going to shade in 1/3, only focusing side to side. of 3/4. Okay, now I'm going to look top to bottom and I can see that I have these fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to look from top to bottom only. Focus in there. And I'm going to shade in 3/4. So shade in 1, 2, 3/4. 1/3 of 3/4 in my picture is showing wherever we have double shading. So that double shading is 3 out of how many total? 12. And we always look, can we reduce? Yes, we can reduce to 1/4. Okay, we're going to leave the next 3. Let's put at the bottom. We want to write a note. Put this at the bottom of your paper. Always reduce if you can. And what we're noticing with each one that we did, our key words with multiplication, is we are looking for a part of a part, which makes sense because a fraction is a part of a whole. So if we're taking a part of something that's already a part, that is going to be our multiplication. Okay, so we're going to turn your page. This is your 3rd page. I think on your 2nd you have a poem on the back or song or something. So you're on your 3rd page. Now this time they give us a picture already done. We just have to figure out what fractions that it is communicating to us. So let's look at number 1. Number 1, I notice, and you can add color, that might help. If I look from left to right, then I see that we have, this is shaded, just right here, and here's my lines. So I know that, just looking left to right, I have 4 total pieces, and then I shaded in 2 of those. Then look top to bottom, and only look top to bottom. I'm noticing that I have just this piece right here shaded, but there's 4 parts, so, or 4 pieces total. So we have 1 shaded out of the 4 total. My answer to if I took 2/4 of a 4th, is where that double shading area is, right here. So I have 2 pieces out of 16 that are double shaded. And of course, if I can reduce, which yes I can, always reduce. Okay, you try the 2nd one on your own. Pause the video and come back. Okay, so you should have paused the video. We're going to look either way, but I'm going to start with left to right. I'm looking, and I notice I have just 2 pieces here, and one of them is shaded, so that would be 1/2. Then I look top to bottom, and I notice I have all of these pieces with all of this shaded in here. Well, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, and 3 of them were shaded. Looking for my answer, I'm looking for that double shaded. That's right here. And I have 3 pieces that are double shaded out of 10. Can I reduce? No. Okay, flip it over to the back page. Back page, looking at without the pictures. They give us the numbers and they give us a box and they want us to draw it completely. So now they're not even separated in pieces for us. So let's start with 3/4 times 1/5, which is really, I'm going to take 3/4 of 1/5. So we can start 3/4. I always start over here. I'm looking this direction. How do I make it look like 3/4? Well, I'm going to cut it into fourths, and we're going to shade in 3. Look from top to bottom, and I need 5 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, not exactly even, but we did our best. 1/5, so they only want 1 shaded, 1/5 shaded. And then my answer is the double shaded part, which means I have 3 double shaded out of a possible 20. Can I reduce? No. Okay, so that's how you would actually draw a picture, basically from scratch. Okay, let's jump to 13. 13, they're not asking us to draw a picture at all. And 13 looks a little bit different because we have a fraction. This is 1/6 of 2, but that's 2 wholes. So they want us to take a 1/6 of 2. Well, first we have to get that 2 into a fraction. How do we do that? To make a whole number a fraction, you just put a 1 under it. 2 over 1 is the same as 2 whole. So I can draw a picture, and I could draw 6 and 2 wholes, but what I'm noticing about my pattern, if I go back to all my numbers, I'm noticing there is a pattern to all of these. When I multiply, what I'm looking at is I'm multiplying the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. So I would take 1 times 2, which is 2, 6 times 1, which is 6, and 1/6 of 2 wholes would be 2/6, or I can reduce that to 1/3. Let's jump down to a word problem so you can see that, and then we'll be done. Okay, look at number 15. You have a recipe. It says to use 2/3 cups of butter, but you don't want to make all of the cookies. You can make 36, but you only need 18 cookies. So you need to take half of the 2/3 cup of butter. So real life, you're trying to make a recipe and you need to cut it in half. What that looks like is you have half of 2/3. You want to cut that 2/3 in half. So that's taking a part of a part. So my equation would look like 1/2 times 2/3. Okay, so remember, we're going to take top times the top, bottom times the bottom. So top times the top, 1 times 2 would be 2, 2 times 3 would be 6. Can we reduce? Yes. Our solution would be to get a half of 2/3 cups of butter, you would only need 1/3 cup of butter. Okay, so make sure that you bring your paper in with the notes on Monday so that we can go back over what we just talked about and then have you practice some more.